Coming up next on KYOU, news for you at 10. The presidential election still has no confirmed winner. President Trump casting out lawsuits in the battleground states among accusations of fraud.
As we head through the next couple of days, we're going to start to see chances for rain coming our way, mainly as we head into the day on Saturday. Quite a bit of sunshine coming away for Friday. We'll have all the details coming up.
Plus, Habitat for Humanity in Fairfield, how it's staying afloat during the pandemic. These stories and more as KYOU News for You at 10 starts right now.
Live from Ottumwa, the news that's important to you. This is KYOU News for You at 10.
Good evening. I'm Eric Monaghan. As members of Congress return to Capitol Hill today, the Trump administration is facing growing calls to help with the transition of President-elect Joe Biden, even though President Trump is still fighting the election results. Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest.
It's most unfortunate that the Republicans have decided that they will not respect the will of the people.
The election is over. It wasn't close. President Trump lost.
People going to work,
made by our veterans,
people going to school.
and they did that
to Americans, often with devastating consequences to their health.
If that's not occurring by Friday, I will step in as well and to be able to push and to say this needs to occur.
Good morning, all. He's not president right now. Don't know if he'll be president January 20th, but whoever is, will get the information.
And one of those senators who told CNN that President-elect Joe Biden should be getting access to those classified briefings, as you saw, was Senator Chuck Grassley. Here's what he had to say.
But it seems to me that there would be no harm in his having those negotiations or those briefings on national security. So if he does become president, he's up to date.
And when asked about President Trump not conceding, Grassley said he will either swear in for a second term or he'll leave office. But when it comes to claims of voter fraud, the senator said that only time could tell. And new updates in the Miller Meeks Rita Hart battle for the 2nd Congressional District of Iowa. Today, Hart asking for a recount of the ballots with just 47 votes separating her and Miller Meeks. And Miller Meeks' campaign already declaring victory but endorsing the recount, saying the result of this recount will likely not change the result of the election. And in Wapello County alone, Miller Meeks won by over 2,500 votes. And tonight, coronavirus at an all-time high in Iowa. Many larger cities have mask mandates and have moved schooling online. Recent mandates from Governor Reynolds limited public gatherings and required masks to be worn at certain businesses. Governor Reynolds held a press conference today to address this spike. Hospitals are seeing more stress, and the governor is changing how the state will report data coming from them.
Because of the significant increase on hospitalizations at this time, we will be updating the hospital data reported on coronavirus.iowa.gov to include the age demographics of currently confirmed COVID-19 hospitalizations. The new data will also include a breakdown of daily hospitalizations by age since July 23rd, when this data was first required to be collected and reported to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And 95 of Iowa's 99 counties are currently in what the White House calls the red zone. This means a positivity rate of 10% or more. Wapello County fits well within that with a 14-day average of 25%. The latest numbers from Wapello County show 278 active cases with 10 hospitalizations. And we lost 2 residents today, now resting at 71 deaths. And the Test Iowa site in Ottumwa announced a change of hours in the upcoming days as we enter the holiday season. They'll finish out the week from 2 to 7:30 p.m. But next week they'll start earlier from noon to 7:30. And Tuesday and Friday on Thanksgiving week, earlier hours starting at 8 and moving at 12 and 2 p.m. on those 2 days. You can find more info and sign up for testing on wapelloready.org. And Habitat for Humanity has been around for 25 years. KYOU's Jatara Marsh finds out if COVID had played a part in any interruption of that service.
Habitat for Humanity is an international organization created in 1976 that is designed to give families a decent place to live. They do so by using a restore that accepts donations from the community and resells those items. The money made will aid in building homes.
We build home for those who cannot normally get a conventional loan, or they don't have maybe the best credit, or their income does not qualify for buying a house.
This year is the 25th anniversary for the Fairfield Restore, and the manager, Shanaz Kreider, says despite COVID putting a damper on celebrating, they've had a positive impact in donations.
Surprisingly enough, our business picked up right after the virus situation came up. And I believe because a lot of people were staying home and didn't have anything to do, so they started cleaning up their homes and basements and garage and barns, and they had all these extra things they didn't know what to do with, so they brought them to us.
With all items being gently used, she says she was worried about everyone's health and was prompted to take safety precautions.
Very soon we figured out how to do everything safe. So we actually, for a couple of months, never went inside people's home. If they had furniture or items that they wanted to donate, they would put them outside and we would get them. And we use all kinds of detergent and cleaning supplies to sanitize the items that came to us so it would be safe.
Shanaz says she's very grateful for all contributions and support from the surrounding areas. In Fairfield, Jatira Marsh, KYOU, News for You.
And in Fairfield and most of southeast Iowa, things have been a little chillier than they were last week. Let's see what's coming up in the days to come with your first alert forecast with meteorologist Jan Reihard.
Overnight tonight, we're going to start to see maybe some cooler temperatures settling in, and we'll stay a little cooler for our Friday, but altogether not too far different from where we've been over the last couple of days. Temperatures cooling down into those mid-20s for us across the southern parts of the state. Quite a bit of clear sky overhead, though. That's going to allow for those cooler temperatures. Sunshine on the way then as we head through the day tomorrow. Plentiful sunshine, highs only in the 40s with us, though, and then rain as we head into the weekend. We'll see showers throughout the day on Saturday. We'll have all the details on when to expect that rain coming up in just a bit.
And coming up next, some new features are installed around one of Ottumwa's historic districts.
As you walk out the door Friday morning, it is going to be a bit on the cool side. Temperatures down into those middle 20s for quite a few folks. But as we head through the day, we should still warm up. A cooler day for our Friday, though, looking at 40s. Fair bit of sunshine coming our way, though. We'll have all those details on when we'll expect rain coming up in just a bit.
You're watching KYOU News for You at 10. And now, First Alert Weather.
Overnight tonight, we're going to see a little bit of cloud cover pushing in, but for the most part, I think the skies are going to stay pretty clear. That is going to lead to some cooler temperatures here overnight tonight and throughout the day on Friday. Actually going to stay a little cooler as well. Here's where we're headed as we head into the day on Friday. Again, lots of sunshine coming our way, plentiful sunshine throughout the day. And while that will maybe feel very nice, temperatures should only top out in those 40s for us here. So certainly a little bit cooler than the last couple of days. Here's a look at our overnight overnight forecast. We'll call it partly cloudy to start, becoming mostly clear though as we head into the early hours of tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be cool though, cooling off into those low and middle 20s for us across the area. Northwest winds anywhere from about 15 to 25 miles per hour will be possible. Overall, should be fairly quiet though here tonight. As we head towards the weekend though, we are going to look at some wet weather coming our way by Saturday morning. We're seeing some of that pushing up from the south there and continuing really kind of on and off to see some rain showers throughout the day on Saturday there for us. I think continuing to see that into the evening hours before things start to wind down as we head through the overnight hours and into Sunday morning. Still though, Sunday morning we could even see a few lingering showers left back behind before those scoot out of the area. Overall tomorrow though, not looking at any of that rain for us here. Friday, lots of sunshine, temperatures continuing to warm into those 40s for us here. Looking for mid 40s in our area, and southwest winds only about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then beyond that, I think we do start to see maybe those winds picking up just a bit as we head through the day Saturday and Sunday, along with those chances for some rainfall. Here we are looking at those gusts possibly in that 15 to 25 or even 30 mile per hour range through the weekend. So certainly breezy and kind of wet for us here this weekend as well. Maybe not a great weekend to enjoy outdoors, but certainly we are looking at that rainfall coming our way, which we haven't seen too terribly much of in our region here recently. Temperature outlook for that long term looking like maybe a little bit warmer as we head into the middle and end of November. This taking us November 20th through November 26th, looking like we could be trending towards some slightly warmer than average temperatures. Again, average right now is around that 50-degree mark. So maybe not super warm like we started off the month in those 70s, but a little bit above average for us there. Precipitation wise, I think we also stay likely above average for those precipitation amounts. And that is good because we really don't have much in terms of precipitation here throughout the extended forecast. The only time that we have it here on our 7-day is coming on Saturday. That is looking to be some pretty persistent rainfall for us there throughout the day, kind of on and off scattered showers there on Saturday. But that's all we really have for rainfall in the extended forecast. Temperatures stay pretty moderate here, pretty near seasonal for us there, middle 40s to middle 50s throughout the entire forecast. Right now, Saturday looking to be one of the warmer days, but again, with that rain, not able to enjoy that outdoors too much. Breezy then as we head through the day on Sunday, and as we head through the week next week, I think we'll see a fair amount of those 50-degree temperatures, but a fair bit of sunshine as well. A little bit of cloud cover mixed in with that sun. Overall, though, not looking at very good chances for rainfall as we head through the week next week. But again, in that extended outlook, it's looking like we should start to see a little bit more in terms of precipitation.
And welcome back. I'm Eric Monaghan. If you live near North Court and Vogel Avenue in Ottumwa, you may have noticed some new street signs popping up today. KYOU's James Berrickman spoke with city planner Zach Simonson to learn how these signs are a first step in preserving the area's history.
The brick street is unmistakable for longtime Ottumwa residents. Vogel Avenue is one of Ottumwa's 7 historic districts, and on Thursday, the city of Ottumwa recognized its significance with National Historic District signage.
We hear from people that come to visit Ottumwa just because they want to see some of the historic sites. And so we wanted to make sure that those districts were marked so that visitors knew where they were, so that people from Ottumwa knew where they were.
The Vogel Place district runs from East Alta Vista Avenue to Vanis Avenue. Popping up around 1908, it was one of the first communities to grow along the city's electric railroad line. That streetcar line in the neighborhood's proximity to the country club made it a desirable place to live.
W.R. Dom, he came to Ottumwa. He built his home on North Court Street. And he had an idea that a lot of people had in cities of this size all across the country and bigger cities, that you could make a hell of a lot of money if you owned a streetcar line and you owned the land up around it.
Vogel Place is the first of the Ottumwa historic districts to be recognized with signage. The new signs coming all in an effort to build a sense of long-lasting neighborhood identity.
We also just want to make sure that we preserve an understanding of what these places are, and that people get used to the idea of preserving them. They get used to the idea of them being special places, because that'll help us to continue the preservation work we need to do.
Simonson says eventually the city will introduce interactive panels within the historic districts, giving visitors a chance to learn a little more about Ottumwa's past. I'm James Berrickman, KYOU News for You.
And COVID-19 cases again breaking records in the U.S. with at least 10.5 million cases to date. The rising numbers have officials worried, especially with the holidays approaching. We have Erica Hill with more.
COVID patients in hospitals hitting another all-time high. New cases surging, nearly triple the daily rate we were seeing just a few weeks ago. 44 states reporting a rise over the past week. Deaths also climbing. Michael Osterholm, recently named as a COVID advisor to President-elect Biden, suggesting a nationwide lockdown with economic support may be necessary. Recent polling finds just 49% of Americans are very likely to stay home for a month if public health officials recommend it. So, what's the alternative? That strategy increasing across the country as the message becomes more urgent. Even areas that seem to have the virus under control, bringing back restrictions. New York and Connecticut limiting private gatherings to just 10 people. New Jersey forcing bars and restaurants to close indoor dining earlier, starting today. And coordinating with New England to ban interstate youth sports through at least the end of the year. Ohio's governor stepping up mask enforcement. Those personal decisions increasingly important as Thanksgiving looms. Yet embracing a rough holiday this year may be the key to having one next year.
And while many are holding out hope for the recently announced vaccine to hopefully wipe away most of this COVID trouble, the World Health Organization chief has warned against pinning all hope on exactly that. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said during the Paris Peace Forum today that people need to remain vigilant and take precautions. Dr. Ghebreyesus agreed that a vaccine is urgently needed, but we can't wait for it and put all our eggs in that one basket. Several governments in the world has warned that health systems will be overwhelmed if the number of new infections is not brought under control soon. And in Washington, President Trump's advisor, Corey Lewandowski, has tested positive for the coronavirus. Lewandowski says he feels fine and he'll stay home, but he does join a growing list of people close to the president who have contracted the virus this week, like White House Political Director Brian Jack and Secretary for Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson. Some of these individuals who tested positive attended an election night party at the White House last Tuesday. Masks are not required at the White House and have been called a, quote, personal choice by a senior White House official. And coming up next, the unemployment numbers and a ticketing company preparing for a COVID-vaccinated world. This is KYOU, News for You at 10.
Live from Ottumwa, you're watching News for You at 10. Available anytime on KYOUTV.com.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Monaghan. Another 709,000 Americans have filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits last week, according to the Labor Department's seasonally adjusted basis. There were also nearly 300,000 new pandemic unemployment assistance filings. Added up, that's just 1 million filing just last week. This comes as the nation's job market recovery is slowing down. Many people have gone back to work, but millions still aren't employed. Continued jobless claims, which count people who have filed for benefits for at least 2 weeks in a row, was 6.8 million last week. And the concert industry is preparing for a potential return of live events in the coming months. Ticketmaster just announced an order for fans to attend concerts. They may have to provide proof of a negative COVID test. The plan would involve the Ticketmaster app in partnership with medical information firms. They'd be required to either verify through the app that they'd been vaccinated or prove they tested negative for the virus within 72 hours prior. And as the pandemic's becoming more and more normalized and optimized, 8 months in, some restaurants, instead of shutting down, are attempting a solution to stay in business while keeping diners safe. Victoria Sanchez explores how just one Virginia restaurant is doing exactly that.
You guys have a good night. Thank you.
Bubbles and pods and tents, oh my. We're definitely not in 2019 anymore.
It's good to see everybody. Everyone's doing well.
Ted's Bulletin in Ballston added 10 tents to its patio. It's not indoor dining. It's not quite outdoor dining either.
A bubble is sort of a hybrid.
Dr. Amish Adalja with the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security says if you're taking COVID precautions, this is a good option if you're not high risk, but not the only choice you have to make.
Your risk is mostly going to be from the person you're dining with. So keep that in mind as well, that your primary risk is not going to be the servers or the other people there. It's who you're sitting with at your table, because that's where you're going to be without your mask.
These tents are really great. They have a ton of ventilation.
Nick Salas says his restaurant uses high-tech gadgets to sanitize after each bubble customer, who also get temperature checks before sitting down.
We clean each one of these with a fogger that has hypochlorous acid in it.
Mayo Clinic's Dr. Audie Shaw says dining pods can help keep businesses open by giving patrons another option. But safety first.
If I go to a restaurant, I would be asking the restaurateur saying, is the table I'm sitting at a good distance from another table? Did you clean it with something before I'm sitting there? Are all your waiters and everybody who's working in the restaurants masked? So if these three basic things are asked before you go to a restaurant, then it would be as safe as possible.
And it's not rude to ask those questions.
I think it's smart to ask those questions.
Coming up next, some college football games are being canceled. Which games and why? This is KYOU News for You at 10.
You're watching KYOU NBC. And now, KYOU Sports for You.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Monaghan. Some college football games are being postponed or canceled this upcoming weekend. The Ivy League is taking a leap ahead regarding winter sports. They canceled all of their upcoming winter sports season. That was part of a unanimous decision coming from the Ivy League Council of Presidents. You might remember the Ivy League was ahead of the curve last March, being the first conference to cancel its men and women basketball tournaments. And they were the first conference to cancel fall sports, and now they're the first to cancel winter sports as well. And Jeopardy host Alex Trebek died on Sunday, more than a year after he had announced that he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. In the past 4 months, the disease has also taken women's rights icon Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and civil rights legend John Lewis. And now Mandy Gaither has more on why pancreatic cancer is just so deadly.
For 36 years, he was the legendary host of Jeopardy! On Sunday, Alex Trebek died more than a year after announcing a diagnosis of stage 4 pancreatic cancer, a disease that's hard to find early. The pancreas is deep inside the body, so early tumors may not be seen or felt during routine exams. People usually have no symptoms until the cancer has become large or spreads to other organs. Dr. William Kant says there are a lot of new therapies in trials, but in his 30 years as a surgical oncologist, he hasn't seen substantial advances when it comes to pancreatic cancer. The overall 5-year survival rate is just 9%, according to the American Cancer Society. But there are factors that put you at higher risk, including family history, pancreatitis, diabetes, smoking, obesity, and age. While there are some advances in drug therapy allowing for longer survival. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And while symptoms don't often appear until the cancer is more advanced, some include jaundice, stomach pains, and weight loss. More advanced symptoms could be a sharp pain in the upper center portion of the abdomen or getting full quickly. If you're experiencing either of those, contact your doctor and if need be, get treated. And that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for KYOU News for You at 10. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, for news and the latest First Alert forecast 24 hours a day, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and visit our website, KYOUTV.com. Have a wonderful night.